Well, we're here at the wonderful HALLE throwing festival, the Werfertag, with Rene Sack, the national bonds coach for Germany in the women's discus, but also the resident coach here in HALLE. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about HALLE, this place, and particularly the throwing competition here, which is the best throws competition in the world.
This competition started 43 years ago. It was the idea of the old coaches lived here, worked here, and it started as an season opener for East German athletes. It started very small, it became bigger and bigger, especially after 1989, 1990. They had more athletes, more international athletes, and one special point is they had a big party at Saturday night where all the world-class athletes, mostly Germans, doing a show for all the other guests here. We had sometimes over 400 people here watching, I don't know, Robert Harding or Christina Obergfell, Franka Dietsch, doing some funny stuff in front of 400 people.
Yes. But there's also this place itself, the field, the throwing field here. This was the old East German Women's Discus and Javelin Center. Is that right?
No, not really. We had centers like this in maybe 15 cities in East Germany. Okay. Yeah. Maybe not big like this, with 4 or 5 discus rings and 2 hammer places, 4 or 5 shot rings, but similar to each city.
Okay. And we had Ilke Vailuda was one of the athletes that was here in those days and lived here on site and trained here.
Most people lived here, they trained here. They came from maybe 100 kilometers around to Halle, trained here, then they got a flat here, lived here. Or like Ilke, or maybe we go back in time, Helma Knorscheid did shot with 2140 something. A lot of good javelin throwers, Karen Forke, and what's the other name? I forgot it.
Yeah, but a great history and tradition of athletes here.
Great throw tradition here in Halle. Yeah. And I'm here for the last 10 years now. Started becoming coach here with my former colleague, or like shall I say mentor, was Gerhard Böttcher. Most of you maybe know him. Coach of Ilke Vailuda, head coach discus last years. Died 3 years ago. Yes. He introduced me to all the kind of stuff I need to know. Learned me a lot of stuff here. Introduced me to this competition, because we have to work really a lot stuff out before we do this. We are here from 6 in the morning, preparing everything, enjoying all the competitions like today again, like Daniel's discus, Nadine's discus. The javelin was good today. Helmet throw was really good today. Men's helmet throw probably with over 82. And it's really fun to see all the people coming to Halle.
And it is, and Halle also, it has this mystical nature for all the throwers in the world. Love the opportunity to be here. It means a lot to win here for a lot of athletes, because they know it's a very credible competition.
We looked over the results of the last years and saw if you're performing good here, you have a good chance to perform well at the World Champs or Europeans or whatever this year is.
And the other thing that's amazing about this is that it's an age group festival. You have athletes under 16 age group, under 18, under 20, is that right? And under 23, as well as seniors. Some
handicapped people or disabled, I don't know in English, doing their competitions. That's the meaning of the festival. Like, okay, you can compete here. We don't have any qualification standards. Okay, this year we had some low ones, because last year we had over 560 athletes competing. You can come here, compete in your competition, watch world-class athletes, see them, talk to them, because you're very close to the athletes here, have a beer with them or talk. It's really good.
It's great. It's a great atmosphere to be around. So many of the youngsters are here having their competitions, but get to see the senior.
And afterwards they can watch, like, I don't know, Robert Harding, Christoph Harding throwing, or David Stohr.
Right. Exactly. And then also it goes over 2 days, so the Saturday is usually the seniors and the under 20s, is that right? And then the Sunday has the under 23s and the under 18 competition. So it's 2 days of throwing, all 4 events, sometimes A and B groups, many people throwing.
This year we had, I think in the women's under 18 hammer throw, we had over 30 athletes. That's a lot.
Right. And also the other thing is that Halle and coming from the history of the East German system, the coach education has always been very strong, coming from East Germany, and that you see that now, of course, through the rest of Germany. But it's very much a tradition of teaching coaches from a young age as well, and that's also served very well here in Halle, this competition.
Because you have to do this here in Halle. as I told you before, you can get in contact with other coaches, with younger coaches, older coaches, talking to them, learn a lot of stuff, making contacts, because as us, we met here. When we meet somewhere else, we can talk, we can share some things. That's really great.
Right.
And at the moment, I think a lot of things are changing in Joe's training.
Yes.
I think you can't use the East German system anymore like it has been used 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You have to change a bit so you can talk to a lot of other guys and learn and to plan some training camps together, something like this.
Yeah. It's been interesting because obviously the Germans as a throws nation have had so much success. They're looked to as the gold standard from the rest of us around the world. You seem to be producing athletes after athletes and champions after champions. That's the great thing as well. But you tend to see, when I talk to you, is that, oh, maybe we haven't got the talent coming through, or you're looking further afield now to look at what other people are doing.
I had a speech a few months ago in Vienna where I had to talk about the German throw system. And I looked at all the numbers in Rio. Rio for us as German throws coaches and throwers wasn't that successful, you know. We had two Olympic champions with Christoph and Thomas, and a bronze medal with Daniel. But we could be much better, like with David Storer, Christina Schwanes, with the discus girls. Javelin girls wasn't that good. But we still had been the best throws nation at that competition, because we have, hammer throw at the moment is a bit down in Germany after Betty finished and Marcus Esser finished 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But we still have a lot of people who can throw there. In my position as discus head coach, when 3 athletes are hurt, were injured, I can send 3 other ones.
Yeah, you had 6 girls qualify. You've got 6 guys qualify. It's a luxury.
But not that big standard like the first 3. But I think one I will make the final 2.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good position for me and for the federation.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And in your position now, you've been appointed as national coach for the women's discus.
Yeah.
But I know in your past you've also had positions. You worked with the hammer throw and shot put, so you're qualified across all throws. But how's the structure here in Germany in terms of Jürgen Schult is the overall head coach for throws, but then there's a number of people working different positions in different areas as well.
We've been, other countries think we are in a luxury position. We have, but we have Jürgen, our head coach for throws, and we have for each discipline, we have 2 discus head coaches for men and women, 2 discus head coaches for javelin, men and women, for shot put 1, and for hammer 1. And then we have another head coaches for under 22, under 20.
Yeah.
But they are not paid fully, they paid a bit, but usually they are coaches at their hometowns.
And they're not also paid by the federation.
They get some money by the federation and by the district and our city or club.
Yeah.
So we have a good structure from the bottom up.
Yeah.
But I think we could have much more coaches.
Right.
Because the job of a coach isn't paid that, or hasn't that, I don't know in English, that value.
Yeah.
Not about the money, but when people ask me, what are you doing? I'm a coach, and they ask me, the second question always is, and what do you work really?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like a voluntary thing, not a paid profession.
Only if you're in soccer, then maybe it's a bit different, but not in athletics.
Right. But also the system, you have a very good structure also in terms of education, that the information is passed down from the top, down through the coaches and through the clubs as well. That's important. There is
We try to do these things. It's not easy always, because every city has their own structure, their own things to do, their own things how they train.
Right. Okay.
At the moment now we have a lot more younger coaches. They're talking more, they're writing emails more, they stay in close contact, they're doing training camps together, stuff like this.
Yes.
And now we have a better structure maybe 10 or 15 years ago, with all the, maybe it's bad when I say this, but with all the old coaches who don't want to share more than they have to.
No, you're a very good case in point, because I've known a lot of German coaches, but they don't often go out and talk to other people. And now you're one of the new generation of coaches that's very much more comfortable speaking English, making presentations. This was always very difficult in the past.
So you could speak better Russian.
Yeah, exactly. More information that way. Yeah, but it's great that now the rest of the world world gets to see a little bit about what the Germans are doing and how the success has been here. I know, speaking with Jürgen in the past, he also says that the fact that you have so many paid coaches through the structure is also what helps to deliver these performances. And
because you have time. Most of the high-level athletes here are paid by the army or by the police, so they have the whole day time for training. And as a coach, you have to be there the whole time. So you can train with them, then you can make all the planning, all the other stuff you need to do, talk to the physio, to the doctor, everything you need to do, plan training camps, plan competitions, stay in contact to all the people you need to work with. Maybe sometimes my job is more like a manager.
Yeah, surely. And I think it's also interesting, you mentioned there that many of the athletes have a job with the police or with the army or with some of the other services. It's kind of the way that some countries give money from the government, but you're also giving training in a vocation, which is very good. That when an athlete finishes their career, as an athlete, they already have a career that they've trained for and developed into the field.
When they are the police, they can, when they finish their career, they can go out as a policeman, work at the police, federal police or local police. When you are at the army, then when you finish your sport, then you go out of the army because they don't take you in. Maybe a few guys like Boris Henny is paid by the army as coach. But the athletes need to get a job somewhere else. But it's no problem because when they are in the army, they don't have free time. They have maybe in October 4 weeks of army stuff, army things, I don't know. And then they have free times they can study beside.
But it helps that transition from going from being an athlete to adapting back into society.
It helps a lot.
That training,
I think most of the athletes can do much better or much longer careers if they know what they do afterwards. If you don't know, then you take the first opportunity to get out and get better money or get your money for the next period of your life. And also, go back to you as a coach now. The particular success that you've had in recent years is you're the personal coach to Anja Müller, so former world champion in women's discus. No, second.
Second, sorry.
I will try to be a world champion sometimes.
But you have had great success. And tell us a little bit about Anja as an athlete. And she's very tall. Nadine, sorry. Nadine. She's very tall, not necessarily so strong, but very good in women's discus. So.
Nadine is a very tall girl. I know her for a long time. Even when I was an athlete, I still knew her because, like in Halle, you see all the young athletes. When you're here as an older athlete, you see all the young athletes throwing. Nadine always was taller than the rest, so you saw her. When I came to Halle, Mr. Butcher told me, when I'm finished, you get this girl, you have to work with her. She was, last year with him, she did, I think, 6th in Berlin, 2009. And in 2010, we started working together. We changed some things because I think, when you look back 20 years ago, Joes looked different, especially the girls. Now Nadine is a 193 with 93 kilos. Not really that strong. She had some strong things she can do, like the deadlift or the special exercises, special strength exercises. She's very good at. But we changed a lot of things, more away from the traditional strength training, more into more athletic stuff.
And I had great success with her.
Great. We had I think a silver medal, a bronze medal. We still missed an Olympic medal.
But you have time. I have a long
She's
career.
31 now. I will try in 4 years again.
Exactly, another 4 years. But also you work with shot putter, Sarah Gambetta, the athlete, and you've had also success in hammer and other events, so it's nice that you're working across a number of events.
Because I think I had to start here as a hammer coach in Halle. They got me here and said, okay, you have to start with the hammer tour because we don't have a coach, so you have to start. So I had to learn very fast. But no problem because I had a lot of good mentors here. A very old coach who was over 70 at the time taught me a lot of things. All the head coaches like Michael Deiler taught me a lot of things. Bernhard Riedel, maybe you know him. And I think there are some aspects you can use in every Joe's training. And even I changed Nadine's technique with some exercises from the hammer throw. About the feeling, about the access and everything. So I took over some special strange exercises from the hammer throw to the discus throw for Nadine, and it worked very well. So the season planning is the same. We changed some exercises in the gym. We changed some weights, something like this. But the rest is very similar.
You talk the German system is kind of this mystical thing to those people in and around the rest of the world, but it's a very simple structure. You've used it. It's been used here.
Yep.
You know, it's a basic program setting up strength and periodization, and nothing special.
Nothing special. It's like the usual periodization. I think every Eastern country did since 4 or 6 years. I think.
Yeah. So.
But changed a bit, less volume now because. We are now drug-free, I think, or I hope so. But I'm sure my group is, my places, and so I have to change something. You can do less. You have to do less volume, more quality, more intensity, stuff like this, more regeneration.
Yeah. The other thing that is noticeable from the outside is that you kind of have this production line of athletes that come through, and sometimes when I talk to you, you're not sure where the next one's going to come from. But I see that when you have talent at the youth level or the junior level, they come through, tend to be much better than other countries. Other countries have talent, but we don't necessarily see them progress through the senior ranks, and you seem to have more here in Germany that come through and achieve a higher level.
Yeah, I think because if we see some talented throwers here, maybe with 15, 16 years, we try to stay in contact with them.
Yeah.
We have the head coach for the youth has to stay in contact with them, work with them, help the home-based coaches. So we know them for 10, 15 or more years when they are on the world level, when they reach the world level. And we have the opportunity to say, okay, you can do your school at a special place, a special school for sports, where the coaches are, where you have the opportunity to train twice a day or maybe 8 times a week, where you can get free time for training camps. You don't have to go to school, but you have to do your homework in training camp. Stuff like this is very important. And they have a plan when they finish school. We can help them with job education or studies or army or police.
Yeah, that's great.
So we have them all on our list and see, okay, these guys are going to be good, so we try to help them.
Yeah. Keep them in the sport forever as well.
Keep them in the sport. It's very difficult here now.
Yeah. But also the other thing that is noticeable is that you seem to have people that perform well at championships.
Sometimes,
but compared to other countries, you have a higher strike rate, I think, amongst the throws. Anyway, you've had I mean, the Olympics in Rio, Christoph Harting came through. Robert was injured, didn't make it through, but Christoph stepped up. And also Daniel Jasinski,
who was great too.
For him. It brought the best competition of his life at the right time. And, what's your thinking of why that happens, or it's not just luck, or is there preparation to it?
There's maybe a bit luck. It's, I think, mostly preparation, and maybe we have to, because our athletes mostly don't have to worry about money. And I see some other countries, I don't know really, but I think some jurors have to be at every diamond league or every smaller meet to get some money to pay for everything. Here, when you are the army or police, you don't have to pay. You can choose wisely. You can choose which meet you do. Okay, I love to send my athletes to the Diamond League because they stay in contact with other world-class athletes to learn how to compete with them or against them or something like this. Learn how to travel, learn all the time schedule and everything. But they don't need to.
It has to fit.
For them it's important to show at the main meet. The best performance.
And you also have you tend to have a tradition of requiring performances at a number of competitions. Halle is being one of them for the throws.
Wiesbaden, Fränisch Krumbach.
So they're all part of the selection policy. So they need to produce not just at one championship, but at 2 or 3 competitions along the way as well.
And now, so the situation in Germany, we have when you compete here, okay, I have to compete here with the other 4 or 5 German guys who are the same level than me, and then some more international guys are coming. So you have to be good. And so you have to be mentally good. If you're not in shape at this time, like Halle, you come straight out of training camp or something. The season is starting now. It's long until August under London, for instance. But you have to know. You have to be good here. You have to be prepared mentally. If you're not in that perfect shape, but the implement will fly. No problem.
You're also a man that looks a little further afield than just the German group and training. You're speaking to more people overseas and have more contact than some of the German coaches in the past. What's your thinking? Who do you look to outside of Germany that you're trying to gain information from, or athletes that you like?
Everything I get. It's not always easy. I don't know if I'm on my computer a lot of files to read and. Try to have some time to read this, a lot of books. I think like guys like John Kiley, Franz Bosch, they have interesting approach, who can change a lot of stuff.
Right.
I look everyone is good. I look what they are doing, why they are doing, how they are doing. You know, I would love to talk to American coaches about what they are doing in shot put, and why they are not that good at discus or amateur anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting
because
one.
I don't know. I don't know the system.
Yeah.
I know the Russian system, I know the East German system, and I know the system of Portugal or something. People I know.
Probably in America there isn't a system. That's the problem.
I don't know.
Number of universities and.
It's a different. What I read is a different training systems, a different techniques and approaches to everything. But especially in shot put, they are very, very powerful.
Yes. Yes. Very strong. And in terms of your own philosophy on coaching, and what do you look for? Are you strength oriented now? Are you more power based in your approach to training?
Power based.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we do a phase of strength training with heavy weights, so lots of repetitions just to build a base for a few weeks, and then we switch to power training, power force training. All the small devices you can use to measure these things, the maximum speed of the bar is very important to me.
Right.
And I try to transfer to the throwing.
Yeah. Jürgen speaks about maximal velocity training.
Yeah.
That's been a big change in
VBT, velocity-based training, something like this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of small stuff outside the use. Easy.
And so you're de-emphasizing maybe the strength from the old days, and looking more to generate power. You do also a lot of special strength exercises.
It's important. This is important.
Heavy discs and things like this. Yeah.
Not too heavy, but we do not only throwing heavy discs or different implements. We do some more special exercises in the gym, or spinning with different weights or bands or something like this, just to make the athlete stronger, give him more feeling.
Yeah. If you were using heavy implements, for example, in the men or women's discus, how much heavier would you go? How much lighter would you go? Do you stay within a certain range?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I know some German coaches who let girls throw with 3 kilo or 2.5.
Yeah.
For me, I can say with Nadine, I throw 1K, 1.2, 1.5, and a 2 kilo plate.
Okay.
But not that often, more in the winter season to build up the range, and now we're going to 1 to 1.5, and now we try, even in her, let's say further age, she's throwing for maybe 16 years now, 16, 17 years now, she will try to do lighter implements.
Oh, good.
It's not easy for girls, because the implements will get too light.
Very light, yeah. And what about you yourself with a shot putter here, very successful, 2060?
He wasn't certified today.
Yeah. So, but the David Stahl is an interesting guy, because he's been the top of the tree as a youth, as a junior and senior. How do you think he's feeling now, when you got Ryan Krause's on the scene and Joe Kovacs, and they're throwing 22 meters every week? Is he up for that challenge?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him today, but I hope he's up for this.
Yeah.
He had some good years. Now he had some injuries. He has to get back. But I think as most of the time he will be in shape at the major meets.
Yes. And I see now he's gone back to reversing at the finish. So, which the last couple of years he was throwing more fixed.
The knee is more stable now.
Yeah.
So he's trying to jump again.
Yes. Good. And in terms of the future, are there any talents that we should be looking out for in Germany? Do you have the next David Stahl, or do you have a couple of others coming through?
It's hard to say, because there are a few. But when I say a name now, you can nail me in 10 years, I don't know. But maybe with the younger athletes, you can watch my athlete, for instance, Saga Better. She's come from the multi-events. She's throwing for 3 years now, did nearly 18 last year, the Europeans. In javelin we have a lot, because all the guys are young. Thomas Röder, they all very young age. Still, they can do 10 or 15 more years. Discus, we have a few in the under 23, like Henning Prüfer, Clemens Prüfer, Merten Hover, Maximilian Klaus. They did over 60, all of them. And they are 19 or 20 years old. Still time to improve. With the women's discus, maybe Claudine Vita. She did 63, 40 something last week in Wiesbaden. She also did a shot put in the European indoors with 18. She's 22 now.
And you also touched on something there that I think is also interesting. The javelin throwers, for example. You know, you've got 4 guys that are top of the world, but they're from different areas. They don't train together as one group. They're different coaches, different
philosophies.
Different philosophies. That's also interesting.
But they work close together.
Yeah.
They got a new head coach last since last year, I think, Boris Henry.
Yeah.
Getting them together, doing like diagnostics for a few days in Leipzig at the Institute of Sports Science, working together, making for each one special technique plans, something like this, testing. And if these guys are trained together, they want to be the best.
Yes.
And they have to. We have, at the moment, I think we have 1, 2, and 3 in the javelin,
Yes.
and a few more until 12.
Yeah.
I think now it's the work of Boris is getting paid out.
Right. And they work closely together with biomechanics group. You have in the javelin they work in Leipzig, or they usually it's one university that works with one.
It's a special institute for sports. It's not a university. It's called Institute for Applied Sports Science.
Ah, okay.
It's in Leipzig. It's close to the university. We have for each choice discipline we have one biomechanic who just works with for discus or hammer or shot or javelin.
But you have an incredible library of information that you've collected over the year. And an event like this at Halle, you film every competition. You film also the foreign athletes as well as the German athletes.
We analyze it with 3D.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got some special rings in Leipzig.
Yeah.
They can measure all the ground contact, the force and the times and everything.
And then also you have a lot of camps together. You bring the athletes together in central training camps and share that information and work on specific things.
Usually, you know what happens when coaches meet in a training camp? What happens after, I don't know, 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
They meet at a pub and then they talk until 12 or 1 or later. So we can share, we can prove our work, or let's they tell, sometimes the coach tells me, maybe you try this or try this, and you change and try. And at these camps, we start in November with the first week in Chiembaum, in December 1 more week, January, February 1 week, and then we go outside the country to Cyprus or Ibiza or somewhere, Portugal, for 2 times 2 or 3 weeks together.
Yes.
In bigger groups, not all throwers, but maybe 10 discos or 5 shot putters to work together in that camp.
Yeah.
And after in the evening they do some stuff together, go in a pub or go out and talk. So we work very close with all athletes and coaches and try to bring in all the doctors and physios too.
Yeah. Great. And I think this year London World Championships, again we're expecting some German success. And
I hope so.
Across the events.
Yeah, I hope so. We have some success because the sports system in Germany is changing after 2016, after the games. They changed a lot of stuff from the government.
Yeah.
I don't know really yet what they will change, but we will know it in a few weeks.
Okay, and that's how the athletes are funded and how the coaches are funded as well, so it has a big impact. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing what happens for the Germans in the future, and the rest of us around the world are always following German throws, and I hope people will take the opportunity to come here to Halle and experience
I hope too. It's a nice weekend.
Yeah. Rene, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.